Parasha Acharei Mos, Tafshin Pei Beis. We're going to dwell mostly in two psukim, one pasuk in the introduction and one pasuk for the main part of the shir, which is the heart of the shir. I'm not going to stay on the arayos. I'm not going to explain that tonight, but I need to go through the first pasuk of the Parasha of Arayos in order to understand the subject of tonight. The subject of the shir tonight is the side of the Teshuva. What it means to make Teshuva, what do I do, when do I do, is there a difference, are there different moments, is it easier, when do I know that I get full kapara, half kapara, 1/3 of the kapara? All this is going to be answered. It's going to be really clear. So B'ez Hashem, we're going to go through that part, and I'm going to start with a simple, very simple question. We're talking about the parasha that we read on which day? Yom Kippur. What time of Yom Kippur? By Mincha, Rava de Ravin. When Ari Chanpin, when the Keser comes out, Keser is always hidden. And now it's gonna come out. And which parasha we gonna read? The Arayos, honestly. That's the parasha of the korban of Aaron, the korban of his children, the kapara, ki bayom hazeh yechaper aleichem letaher eschem mikol chateiseichem. Honestly, I have to go from full kapara all the way to the other extreme on the left. What's the connection? Is there any connection? Let's go in the pasuk here. Pasuk Vayidaber Hashem Moshe Leimor. This eye starts Kemase Eretz Mitzrayim, like the actions or the habits of Eretz Mitzrayim. It's already very weird. Kemase Mitzrayim. The land doesn't do nothing. It's the Mitzrim that have bad habits. Asher Yeshaftem Ba. Oh yes, we were there on vacation. We paid a ticket. We had a 5-star hotel in Mitzrayim. Those who came out of Mitzrayim went through very serious bondage. You'd see if you can send the link to Deborah. She doesn't see it. So what do you mean Asher Yeshaftem Ba? No, where we were enslaved. Lo Yisaisu. You can't do those whatever they were doing over there. Uchmase Eretz Kenan, and also the actions, the habits of Eretz Kenan. Again, it's Eretz. What is the land doing? The land is not doing anything bad. It's the people on the land that do bad. So it's Uchmase Kenan. Asher Ani Mevi, that I bring you there. You're not going there. No, I bring you Eschem, you, Shama, there. This lashon in the Lo Yisasu, same thing. He could have said the pasuk Kemase Eretz Mitzrayim ve'Eretz Kenan Lo Yisasu. We would have not lost one bit of the mitzvah. So obviously here, we're not talking about the mitzvah, something else. The pasuk wants to point out and us to find what we're talking about. Oh, I'm not gonna have time to go into Maseh Eretz Mitzrayim and Maseh Eretz Kenan to prove how they made it a bed, a nest for the son and for his wife, the Nukva, the lily. You know how we track, how we find them in the Arayos. I'm just gonna brush it to give you a taste of it so you understand. Because I want you to understand fully the koyach of the Teshuva. And this is essential. That's why I brought this pasuk. For instance, if we're taking When HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Asher Ani Meivi, Meivi, these 4 letters are the 4 Rashi Tevos of the 4 countries we will go into Galus. Mem stands for Madai. Beis stands for Babel. Yud for Yavan. Aleph for Edom. You see how the pasuk plays with words here? HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells us a different message. Yes, you're on your route to Eretz Canaan right now, but I will bring you to other countries. I will bring you. People don't take you. You know, we may have lost the war, but it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu's plan. I take you there, over there. Oh, over there. It's not over here. We understand if we go somewhere, it's always over there. Shama is letters Moshe. The same way Moshe is with you now, the same way Moshe Rabbeinu will always be with you, anywhere you go. We'll talk about this part in a different shir because it's coming up in Parashat Bamidbar, and we're going to have a lot more of it. So I'll have a lot more opportunity to explain the Das Moshe, where is Moshe when we go into Galus. But this is the meaning of the pasuk here. However, we state if these people were engrossed in Arayas, say Arayas. Why do you tell us Maise? Something is hidden. I can tell you what it is, you know. Maise and Maise cannot Maise. Tell us what these people do. What's the problem? We need to know what's also. I'm just gonna brush again the Indian of Arayas, so we understand where we're standing. You remember we spoke about this. There's 4 ways to write the name Yud Ke Vav Ke, which is we call Ralab, Shemos Ralab, because these 4 together equals 232, which Ralab is 232. In Kabbalah, we always go by numbers. So we always call names by their number. So the Yud Ke Vav Ke, if it's in Atzilus, it's written Yud, Hey, Hey Yud, Vav Yud Vav, Hey Yud. It's called the Shem Ab. It's also its value, 72, Ab, 72. In the Bria, it's, instead of the Yud here, it's a Vav here, it's Shem Sag, because its value is 63. That's a number that's going to come back in Teshuva quite a bit. This name. In Olam HaYetzira, where the Eitz Hadas and the Eitz HaChaim are, this is the name. Where the Nachash is, this is the name. We call him Ma, Mem Hey, which is equals to Adam, a person, because we come from there. And it's also Geula. This is the name of the Geula. This is the name HaKadosh Baruch Hu will use to free us from the Goy. And this is Shem Bein. In Asiya, the Zohar, you never find that name in the Zohar. The Zohar never brings a name that has less than 10 letters. And this one lost its Aleph here, and it's only 9, Behema. You'll never find it. It's never brought down. So he brings it down with the Aleph here, which is really the yichud of the bracha in Mekabetz Nitrei Amo Yisrael. So this is what the yichud we're making when we say we just put, there's just an aleph. It's always 10 letters. We never make yichudim with basically with 9 letters. But this is the way it is. In the Shemos, Tana, again, Tana refers to its value 455. We have Keye with its value. We call Yudin because it's all Yud. Kasa, it's 161. We'll see what it means later, Kapara. We have Keye with the Alfin, with the Aleph, Aleph, Hey, Yud, Hey. It's called the Kamag because this equals 243. It's called Mechila. And the Keye of Heihin, Heis, Aleph, Hey, Hey, it's called Kana. It's the name of the mikveh because it equals to mikveh. That's the name that is Metaher, a Tame, and it's called Slicha. We'll see what it is. This is for later in this year, this part here. But I just want to in order to point you out the Arayos, I needed to review that with you. If we take Arayos equals 686 plus the Kotel 687. If you take 232 plus 455 equal this. A person that destroys, that falls in the pit of Arayos Chman Itzlan is like the Metzora. His 10 spheres don't belong, they have nothing left of Kedusha. Nothing. Is a total different Beria. He's owned by the Sam and his wife, that is Lily. He is a total integral part of them. He doesn't belong to the Bnei Israel no more. He's not under the auspices of any of the Shemus, and it's not done. Because he touched the Erva, Erva is Ayin, Reish, Vav, Hey equals 671, the same as the name Adnus, Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud, 671. In other words, he destroyed the whole Baruch Shem Keved Malchusoi Le'olam Vaed. This equals to 1,378. 671 plus 687 equals 1,358. So all the haftachas that are here is gone. This guy has nothing. He's not under the same skies. He's not on the same earth. He looks to be on the same earth. He is not. He is on. It's a pity. One day maybe I'll give a shir on how is the Yetzer Hara tempting, breaking down every step. How is Yetzer Hara tempting the people to arise, and what is he doing exactly after? And in the words of the pasuk, you see how he jokes around the people, making fun of them, when he makes them fall. As soon as they fall for the temptation, he is standing before the Kisei HaKavod to be mekatreg, that the life of this person should be given to him. That's what it is. Think people have a friend with him? No, we don't have a friend with him. We have a sour, nasty enemy. We understand now the gravity of this Issa. He basically erased every name of Hashem that's within all the worlds. There's nothing of the Kedusha that he left standing for doing such an Issa. And even the Yichud Tasar, the lower Yichud, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, is the upper Yichud. The lower Yichud is totally gone, vanished. He doesn't believe in nothing. If he tells you, no, I just have that instinct or whatever, but the rest I believe, don't trust him. The guy is rotten, cannot be trusted in anything. That's the introduction about the inyan of Arayos. I'm going to jump now, whether we know that. Is a person like this can ever do tshuva? It's all going to depend. The Zohar says on this pasuk, ish, it's a pasuk in Parashat Acharei Mos. Ish, a person, A person, kisiste ishtoi, his wife will veer, become a soita. Umala boy mal, and she will do an affront, she will affront to him. Repetition. That's what I try to. The Zohar HaKadosh says, why is it repeated twice ish? She only cheated on her husband. The Zohar says no, she cheated on someone else, on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created this woman as a part from the body of that man. And he created them together. Once she went with someone else, he is to blame for ushering this woman on her husband and destroying the creation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created this man and this woman as an Adam. It says in the Pasuk that HaKadosh Baruch Hu blessed them after he created Zohar and Nekeva, Vaikra Shema. He called their name Adam, singular, even though it says their name plural, because they one. And at that point, this person basically, this joins what we said before, with his actions, he has reneged all the creation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And this is why this person is in a very, very deep hole. We want to know if he can come back, we can come back. How can he come back? There's no light going to him. He is a total possession of the Satan and the Nachash. Let's call them that way, these two. The Satan, the male, and the Nachash, she is known to be the female, the worst. And she's the one tempting men to sin. She's always the one. And she is the Malach HaMaves. That's why she goes before HaKadosh Baruch Hu and request the right to kill that person. The Kava Yashar says, I'm jumping the guns, but I just want to bring this now. The Kava Yashar says that once this person dies, the person he's laid toward the Gehinnom. And again, if there was his action didn't affect anything in this world, meaning he didn't leave a mamzer, because if he left a mamzer, there's no tshuva possible until the mamzerim die. There's tremendous midrashim in Parashas Nosoi about HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in order to cleanse Am Yisrael, he kills the mamzerim as babies. Sometimes you hear babies dying, and we don't understand. We should understand HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows who's who. And also, you see young guys dying that don't, for whatever reason, and it's heartbreaking. Yes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is cleaning the world. Even though at some points it says some tzaddikim die also because when the mashkis come, but usually when we see a pandemic, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is cleaning the world from the mamzerim. There's too many mamzerim. Again, I'm going into Arayos, and I promised myself I'm not going to go there. Let me just tell you, the whole Mabul, this generation, the whole entire generation, the Rekanati says they were all mamzerim. That's why we couldn't save anyone. Not one. So, I don't want to go into the psukim. And again, it's in the digduk of the pasuk, how the Rekanati takes it out. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I want to go into the psukim and try to find out, is there a tshuva possible? Again, he sinned, he felt bad, he didn't keep on, and the guy wants to make tshuva. Because if he can make tshuva, if I can find him a path, then there's a path for everyone to become perfect. We had the Leil of the Seder. You will see what we had at the night of the Seder. Yes, what we had. And I'm going to stress it out because we're going to have it again in Shavuos. So not to tell you what we missed, but what's upcoming and what we can do. And Mamish, it comes out very well that it's in the Omer to have a thing like this. Shlomo HaMelech says, Hayachte ish esh becheko. Will someone kindle a fire in his bosom, on himself? Ubegadav lo rafna, and his clothes will not burn. Can someone hold fire and not catch fire? No. Im yahalech ish, it's in Koheles. Im yahalech ish ala gechalim. If someone walks on the coals, veraglav lo isikavena, and he's not going to hurt his fingers, his feet. Kain haba el eshes re'ehu lo yinake. Same, someone who goes with the wife of his friend, he will not be. So the Zohar asks here, lo yinake, fine. And then he says, kol hanoi geyaba, anyone who touches her. No, you just said that's a complete contradiction. You said, Kain haba eleshes reu, someone who takes things to the matters, haba eleshes reu is in action. And he says here, kol hanoi geyaba. And the Zohar says there are two levels. There's a person, he knows the Isser, but he plays the game, he flirts, don't get crazy. Lo yinake, that's the first level. He will not avoid dina shel gehinam. So I was telling you, the Kabbah Yashar says, the person that will lead them to Gehinam, who it is, okay, it's that Nachash, within the appearance of the lady he went with. Look how far the deen goes. They're mefarsim in shamayim. When he's getting punished, and it's no Gilgul. So I don't want to go into Shah Gilgulim what Ari HaKadosh says, but let's say we're talking about a contained person, okay? So this person will be led, but somewhere that appears to be the very same woman he fell for. Look at the din goes all the way. But at the end of the day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is very patient. Since I mentioned Shah Gilgulim, Reb Chaim Vital says in Shah Gilgulim, Chaz v'shalom to say HaKadosh Baruch Hu is lenient. Tamim pa'oloi. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always b'mishpat. Exactly. We're not, the church invented a new concept. I can do whatever I want, and I can wash it off my conscience. God forgives. God is good. God forgives. You know something? Wait for them to fry, and you will see how God forgives. Yeah, after if they fry, because Gehinam, sometimes the Gehinam, the Zohar says, Gehinam says, I cannot clean such a mess. So he goes into Gilgul. But we're talking about someone again that's didn't have any consequence. The pasuk says in Yecheskel, we say it in Yom Kippur, many times in davening. Emor aleihem, tell them, Chayaninu Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is swearing. Hashem Elokim, im echpois be'moi sarasha. if I really have any inclination, do I want the Rasha to die? The only thing I'm aspiring to, I'm awaiting, is that the Rasha should do tshuva. This part, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help a person to do tshuva at any cost. Where is the side? Where does it start? Now we're starting our shir. Where it starts the side of the tshuva, it's here. The whole Yom Kippur is in this pasuk. Shia malas mi mamakim kerasicha asher Hashem shima bekoili tiyena aznecha kashuva istekal tachanunai imavoynes tishmor ka Hashem miyamoi. Ask the Zohar, imavoynes tishmor ka miyamoi. What do I need the second name in here? And this is not the regular name Yud Kei Vav Kei. It's the regular the name Aleph Dalet Nun Yud. And what it means, mi yamod, who will stand? Very strange pasuk. So here I'm going to have to explain you a little bit of a yesod of what happens in Yom Kippur. Usually, there's a yichud between Kudsha Berichu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the Shechina. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives the chasadim to the Shechina. This happens on Shabbos. This happens. That's why we eat. When we have a chiyuv of Seudah, it means the Tiferes and the Yesod are together. The Yesod went up to the Tiferes. Instead of being the last one in the tree, it comes right to the center. Then there's a mitzvah of achila, there's mitzvah of shtiya, because the Kudsha Berichu HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives the Shechina all this plentiful of goodness. On Yom Kippur, we are not allowed to eat. We are not allowed to drink. So what's happening? Because, maybe I should show you on the, I found it again, so why not show you here? So when the Malchus here goes to the Tiferes, goes up, it's a Yontev, and we have to eat. We have a mitzvah to eat. When the Malchus avoids everything and goes to the Bina, mother, daughter, Ima, Bas. Ima Ilah, the upper mother, Ima Tasar, the lower mother. When Bnei Israel do Chataim, the sin, they affect these two. Principally, we affect other things. Because when the Chataim are too big, is Yud Kei. It's not the name Vav Kei only that affected. Like someone who goes with Arayos is Erva is affecting directly Yud Kei, like the Metzora. It's incredible the parallel between the Metzora we find in the Pasuk and how many times in the Gematrias we find the word Metzora is exactly like the Metzora, meaning he affected Chochma, Bina, up to here. Yud Kei. This is Vav, all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's why it's a Vav. Hey, the last Hey is the Malchus. So when the two Heys in the Shem Hashem go together, it's a tremendous day. Why? Because now this is what we're talking to every day on our tefillas everywhere, to the Malchus, to the Shechina. Who we trying to make a tikkun? To the Malchus. Who we trying to give plentiful to the Malchus. Who we trying to protect is always our mother. She's being attacked by hordes of chitzonim, of mazikim, and we protect her through our tefillas, through our learning, through our everything. In return, she pours whatever is given to her from from the Vav, which is Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hoid, Yesod, it's being poured back to us. On Yom Kippur, the Malchus is going into the Bina. In other words, we in Lela Seder. The Lela Seder we wear in the Yesod of the Bina. The Yesod of the Bina, the Bina also has 10 spheres. In her Yesod, it's called Olam Haba HaElyon, the upper Olam Haba with Tzadikim. Well, there's some Tzadikim that are there the whole week, but other Tzadikim that don't deserve to be there the whole week are in the lower, in the Olam Abriya, the Olam Haba Tachtoin, the lower Olam Haba, and on Shabbos, they're going to the Olam Haba HaElyon. This is where we are on Yom Kippur. Since we're above the world, there's no eating, there's no drinking, there's no nothing. We're behaving. Teshuva at that point, there's no chitzonim, there's no mazikim. So you don't have, per se, to try to fight evil spirits in order to make teshuva. So how do you see people on Yom Kippur not behaving the proper way? That's the person's habits. Once he took a fall, that fall is the habit. But the Satan is not there on Yom Kippur. We give him the Seir Lazazel. And something, every time we are in that position, we can do tshuva like this. I may not hold my tshuva. This is the dumbest thing if someone says that to me. You can clear up. You have a debt, okay? You bought a house, $5 million. I'm telling you, you know what? I'm going to wipe out your debt of the $5 million. And you're telling me, oh, but I'm buying another house and I'm going to have no matter what, another $3 million thing. Do you see how idiot that person is? He doesn't realize that if he's making $3 million debt later, together with this one, it will be 8 million. Now, instead of being 8, he's only having 3. So whenever we have an opportunity to make tshuva, we should do it full-heartedly. We cannot guarantee the future. We know ourselves, it's very hard. However, we can erase the past. And there are different ways to erase the past. We'll see what the Machzor Lavan, Rabbi Yaakov Abu Chatzera, Zechus Yagan Aleinu, what a side he gives in the tshuva. What a side, what a side. You know, you realize this week I didn't want to bug you too much with Gematrias, but at the end I'm going to show you my way and how exactly, because it's missing a few steps, how exactly we're getting to the perfect tshuva. But first, I want to tell you a story brought in the Emek HaMelech, in the Shifchei Ari, the Mari Seinayim, you know, the mamish, the same story, almost word for word, that happened. You know, Dari HaKodesh and Reb Chaim Vital himself recounts. There was an almana in the neighborhood of Dari HaKodesh that was suffering, and basically a ruach came into her. So a dibuk, what we call today a dibuk. And he was making her suffer a lot. So when her family saw that she was really that much suffering, they went to Dari HaKodesh and they begged him to do something to remove that dibuk. So Dari HaKodesh called Reb Chaim Vital, and he gave him a few shemes and a few yichudim, and he told him, this is what you do. You know, it's a long story. When you come, whatever. Reb Chaim Vital goes there, and the woman turns her face away from him. Doesn't want to look at him. So Reb Chaim Vital tells him, Rasha, why do you turn your face away? And the Ruach answered, we are not, us the Rishaim, we are not allowed to look into the Shechina. And the Shechina is with you. So I'm not allowed to turn around and to look at it. Reb Chaim Vital told him, turn around anyway. I order you to turn around and tell me your story. What did you sin with in order to be here today? So the Dibuk was recounting to Reb Chaim Vital that he went with a married woman and they had children, they had mamzerim. And it's 25 years that he is suffering hell, being thrown from one place to another, and he has no menucha. And how he died, he was on a business trip and his boat, the ship sank and he drowned. Because the Misa of the Sanhedrin, Amid Zayin Amud Beis, the Misa of Habal Eshes is bechenek, suffocating. And the Gemara says, even though the Sanhedrin is bottled, the din of the Arba Misa is not bottled. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu is still judging people according to the four death. You see someone drowning, you see someone this, sometimes you don't want to know nothing, because when you hear these stories and you say to yourself, oy vey, what happened? What's the story behind it? What kind of Gilgul was that? So the Ruach, the Dibuk told Reb Chaim Vital, he has 3 mazikim that constantly hit him, and it's such a pain. That's why the Almana is feeling also such a pain. And he said in those 25 years after he died, right away they buried him from Shamayim. They say, you have to go away, you're gonna go to the world, to the world, and angels, the mazikim will take care of you. There's no even din for him. He doesn't start. He left mamzerim and everything. So he said the first thing he saw in the world, tried to escape the mazikim, was he saw a deer. He went into the deer, but the deer, he couldn't stand the food, the smell, and there was no much room. So the fact that he went into, and the nefesh of the deer and his nefesh were fighting, the deer died. After he went with the deer, he saw a Jew, a Kohen. He went into the Kohen, but this guy was so bad, much worse than him. He said, I have enough din. He went out by himself from him until he found this Almana. And Reb Chaim Vital with the Shemes told him to go out through the pinky of the foot. And this is how, in the Shifchei Ari, there's plenty of stories like this. Just to see the gravity of any action, anything we're doing, it's counted, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Tamim Pa'oloi. Everything is measured. We can't take the American or the church, Chaz v'Shalom, the philosophy. God, do what you want. Yeah, LGBTQ, BTQ, but that QQ plus and Q minus, or whatever you want. Yeah. Hashem will take care of this world. So I'm going to go into, again, share the screen. I just want to go into the vault of the Yesod now that we have that of Rabbi Yaakov Abu Chatzera, Zechus Yagan Aleinu. This is the pasuk that comes all over Yom Kippur. Everything is in there. Ki vayom hazeh yechaper aleichem, and that the HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be mechaper on you. Letaher eschem, to be metaher you, mikol chatoisechem, from all your sins. Lifnei Hashem titharu, before HaKadosh Baruch Hu you'll become tahar. You understand that? He could have stopped here. So it says the Machzai Falavan Itharu equals 620. Meaning 620, because in the Kavanah of Yom Kippur, we double, on the first two brachas, we double this Shem. So it's Kasar, 161 plus 161 plus 143 plus 151, and add one on each one equals 620. The Tahara comes from there. It's a really simple process. We say it on Al-Chet, Slicha, Mechila, Kapara. We need the three levels. Any two levels, any one level is not enough. The person will still pay a price. I'm going to explain you this. You will understand it so clearly, like when you're going to read it the next time, bulbs will come out through your ears, through your eyes. So these are the names, Keye, which is the name. So the Keser is considered the male, the Zohar. So the Zohar projects the light, the oil. The Bina is a Keli. So all the names of the Keser, the light, are withheld. The whole light of the Keser is withheld by the Bina, and the Bina, using that light, which is Olam HaTshuva, the world of Tshuva, will erase on that day, or any day we are up there, will erase all the Chatoi. That's what Rabbi Yaakov Abuchatzer explained, why it's repeated Titharu. He says something marvelous. He says, if you take the first letter, Ki vayoim hazeh yechaper, is Bechiya. Cry. If you take the first letters, Ki vayoim hazeh, is Chav Beis Hey. 27, Vidui. You have to cry, make Vidui, say the Vidui, meaning that from within your heart, you want to go back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and you will be right here in the Titharu Bizoiche, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be Mechaber. We say in our Tefillah As in Yom Kippur, we don't know what is Shuva. We don't know what is returning. The Zohar says, you know what Shuva is? Is Toshev Vav Hey. Toshev Vav Hey returns the Vav Hey together with your action you made here. You a separation. Now put them back together so you have Shuva. We say we don't know what is Tshuva. We don't know what Chet is important, what is not important. On what do we have to make Tshuva? We need help. We need help. We can't wait for Yom Kippur every year. There, in their times, they were not doing so many Chataim. They were able to wait. In our time, what do we do? Be ready for this one. I'm going to take it a different level. Titharu, 620. It's the Keser. It's the Kehye. Now, there is one Kavana in the Tefillah of Yom Kippur that Kehye, we say instead of Kehye, Taf Tzadik Mem Tzadik, which is in Atbash, we hide the Kehye. The Keser is always hidden. So we only read it through the opposite letters. Aleph replaced by Taf, Hey is Tzadik, Yud is Mem, Tzadik is Hey, this is Keye. Now you take Taf, Tzadik, Mem, Tzadik equals 620. The whole Tshuva is in the light of the Keser. Okay? That's what he said. That's what he said. The names here, he came with a different cheshbon, but I want to come through a simpler route to exactly explain his words and explain how to do it. But where's the last page? Oh, I thought I wrote it maybe. So I'm going to do it by heart. What is Rashi? First Rashi in Parshas Kedoshim says, Kedoshim tihu hevu prushim min ha'arayis. What is Kedusha? Kedusha, when you see a erva, you stay away. What do you mean I stay away? Anything you do to show that you have no interest and force yourself, even though if it's burning inside, you show that you're making a korban. This is the biggest korban to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You are not looking. If you're capable all the way to your outer body, stop, put a wall to erva, you're becoming Kaddish. Oh, it's great. I become Kaddish, but I have a load in my back. You know, it's like this train, you know, these commercial trains full of wagons, doesn't stop. How do I get rid of this? The Kedusha is the biggest tshuva. We do not know what is charata. We do not know how much do we have to regret. The only thing we know, we need to get the 3 levels that Rabbi Yaakov Abu Chatzera said, Slicha, Mechila, Kapara. The names of the Keser. That's what I have to reach. And something's got to be done in Shamayim, so to rearrange everything we have destroyed. Fine. That part we can put together. If you look in the pasuk, we asked a question at the very beginning of the shir, and I'm closing it on this part. It says about Mitzrayim, Asher yeshaftem ba. Asher yeshaftem ba. That we asked the question. We were not in. That's not a result. We were not on vacation. We were in bondage. No, you don't understand. Asher yeshaftem ba equals 1,260. 3 times HaKedusha. The Midrash said one of the reasons that they came out of Mitzrayim was because they never went with the erva. Correct. They had 1 level left. There's 4 levels. That's why we repeat the first name of the Keser twice. So we have, even though it's only 3, Mechila, Slicha, V'Chapara, because Kapara is the hardest. Mechila is Keneged the Nefesh. Slicha is everything that touches the Ruach. Kapara is the Neshama. So in the Neshama, there's a Yechaya and Yechida. That's why we repeat twice the name of the Keser of 161. But I won't bug you with this. Hakdusha, we lost 3 levels of Kedusha. What is Mechila Slicha Kapara? Equals 511. What it says in the pasuk, Avadim leparoi, 511. You lose 3 levels of Kedusha, of the Kedusha, you will be a slave to Mitzrayim. So now when you find yourself a slave to Mitzrayim, what am I lacking? Kedusha. How do I get Kedusha? Very simple. Rashi said it. Whenever there's an erva, step away. Don't shake hands. Don't look. Whatever you can do, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will add you Kedusha. The more you add Kedusha, the more you go. All right, take me by the word. What is then full level of Kedusha is the full level, right? Because we have the 4 levels. So 4 levels. 4 times HaKedusha, 4 times 420, 1680. 1680. So what is he going to do for me? What is he going to do for you? Near par, when we finish the Parasha of Metzora and we talk about the Refuah, we talk about the Tyra, we said that Pasuk, near par, Negar Hatzaras min Hatzarua. The Tzaras on top, you had Refuah. Why? Because we explained there, the Satan and the Nachash left him. He's back. The Kohen rebuilt him with 10 spheres of Kedusha. When a person has Kedusha, all his Chatoim, everything he had in the back wagon, it's gone. Nirpa negar hatzaras min hatzarua. You are in the level of Titaru. You're going to be able to feel it in your life. You're not Eved Leparoi anymore. You're not Avadim Leparoi. That's only one level of Kedusha. Guys say, don't make any Chatoim. That's the only thing you don't do, but all the rest you do. You got to raise your level to the point that the erva is a erva. No matter what's in the back, HaKadosh Baruch Hu erases it right away. Okay, we missed the Leil of the Seder, even though Shimon Friedman said in a shir, we thought he was like, Kabbalistic thing or whatever, nothing, he didn't take it very seriously, right? Let me show you something. If I take this word and I just rearrange the letter, what do you see? Shabbos Vav Hei. Why? When? Okay, it's not the whole Shabbos. I'll give it to you. But I'll tell you when. When comes the time of Musaf on Shabbos, the Malchus goes up to the Bina. Not only to the level of Yom Kippur, in the Chazara, when we're going to say the Kedusha of the Chazara of Musaf, is going above the Bina. Once we're going to say Mincha, we are in Arichanpin, the top level of the Keser. The Or is coming from the Metzach. Anything that wants to be on that path, the Zohar says the hair of Kucha Berichu are red from the Chatoim of Bnei Yisrael, and Arichanpin project his light on it and they become white. In other words, what is it for you and for me in there? We are on Shabbos from Musaf on in Yom Kippur mode plus. Ne'ilah plus every Shabbos. Only difference is on Shabbos we can eat. So the Satan is here with us. So we feel great, Shabbos afternoon, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. These are the moments when a person every Shabbos can erase everything he has done his whole entire life. Easier than on Yom Kippur. Why? Because when the Malchus is above the Tiferet already, the center of the body, the center, it's above, all the Chitzonim cannot be attached. Meaning my tshuva takes no effort. It's effortless. I can tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I promise you, I regret, I really want to be better. I really want to raise my Kedusha level. I really want to do something. This has the power on a weekday of crying, doing vidui, and putting the sack on yourself. This is the power, we have on Shabbos. And unfortunately, with our behavior, the habits, it became, this is when we desecrate the Shabbos. I became shtosim, we make a kiddush, we talk about shtosim, we talk. Once Musaf mode, once Musaf passed, we are in Shuba mode. We are in when HaKadosh Baruch Hu will accept, especially if it's Titharu, we totally tahar, anything we want, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give it to us. We don't, on Shavuos we will be there, but we don't have to wait for Shavuos. Every time, and I just want to point something to be exactly that proves that point. It says in this parasha, and a lot of Mefarshim ask that question. Each one try to twist it their way. They have a very hard time in explaining it, and I'm finishing on this. It says 3 times Ani Hashem Elokeichem. You take the first pasuk, the last pasuk, and in between, I think it's the 4th. It says, I say share screen. Kemase Eretz Mitzrayim. Oh, I didn't write the rest. Ani Hashem Elokeichem. I have to share a different screen. Forget it. And it says 3 times Ani Hashem. Everybody say, why? Why in the middle of this parasha of Tuma, you come with Ani Hashem Elokeichem, Ani Hashem? It's logical. If you take the 3 times Ani Hashem Elokeichem, the 2 times, or the 3 times Ani Hashem's equals 840. How much we said before the Negatzara, the ultimate Kedusha is 1680. That equals the half. Half of the Kedusha comes from moving away from our eyes. You already have 2 levels. And you want me to surprise you even more? 840. So 2 levels, 840 equals Teshuva Ilah. This is considered an upper level Teshuva. Just backing off, just making an effort. Hashem, I'm in that situation, but for you, I do that. This is tremendous. This is considered not Teshuva Tasar, because the Zohar brings the 3 level of Teshuvas. The one who, okay, he doesn't do any more Chataim. The one who does mitzvahs. He does the mitzvahs, but he didn't go into the mode, especially for Hashem. It's considered the lower Teshuva. But once he's into the mode of saying, because I want to be closer to Hashem, this is Teshuva Ilah. What do we see Teshuva Ilah again is removing yourself from our eyes. Not be shy, go the shiktas, I consider our eyes also. We try to do our best, but there is the Teshuva Ilah for a person, and why not erase? We don't know when is the day we're gonna leave this world. We should have the smallest speculach possible, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the tool for it. Yeah, he wrote saying that with this, now you understand why with Shabbos we get the Geula, because there's no more Chataim. Yeah, he wrote saying that with this we should be zeiche to the Geula Shlema b'mehera b'yameinu. Amen.
Amen.